Good morning. Hey Jess.
Morning.
Hey Sue. Hey
You
Kev.
there?
Hey Kev.
Nadi.
Daryl and Alex. Zali. Rena.
Morning.
Morning. Nicole, Janine, Lydia coming in. Nice to see everyone
Morning, Rena.
bright and early.
Evening.
Hey Cassie. Loretta, good morning. Good morning. Morning Manoj. Sue, you've become Sue again. Not.
I worked it out.
So maybe just a couple of quick stretches while we're waiting for a few others to join. Let's inhale the arms up to the sky. Exhale, right hand to the earth and left arm up and over. Hold it there with an inhale and with a deep exhale. Morning Joe, morning Pam. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale to the other side, left hand to the earth, right arm up and over. Holding there with an inhale and with a deep exhale. Arms back up to the sky. Let's bring in a twist to the right. Bring the hands down, draw the belly in, lift the chest, look over your right shoulder. Holding there for an inhale and for an exhale. Inhale the arms back up to the sky. And a twist to the other side. Draw the belly in, lift the chest, look over your left shoulder. Deep inhale and full exhale. Inhale the arms back up high. And exhale the arms down behind you. Let's interlace the hands behind the back. Stretch the arms back, open up the chest. Hold it there for a couple of breaths. Good, and then next inhale, arms back up high. One more side stretch to the right hand down, left arm over. Hold there for an inhale and an exhale. Inhale the arms back up to the sky. Exhale over to the other side. Holding there for an inhale and for an exhale. Good, arms back up to the sky. And exhale, release the arms back down. So nice simple stretches, those side stretches, really good ones to open up the rib cage, start to get that diaphragm stretched out a little bit, so making space for the lungs to then be able to breathe a little deeper. So good morning, welcome everyone again, and delighted to have you all for our third session. What we're going to do today is we're going to revise a little bit of what we've done, but then we're going to get into Nadi Shodana, the alternate nostril breath, which is one of the classic pranayamas, a beautiful one. for all sorts of reasons. And so what we'll do is we'll start. I'm going to talk to you about a few things first about the Nadi, or energy system of the body. So as I talk to you now, just start practicing your Ujjayi breath or your full yoga breath. Just work with one of the rhythms that we've been working with, one of those first ones. So just bring your awareness to your breath. Breathe nice and deeply. And yeah, dive into your breath. So the Nadi system of the body is the energy system of the body. And now it's just different names from different traditions. Nadis, some of us might know them as meridians. Meridians, energy channels, essentially, that weave through the body in what the yogis term the pranayama kosha. So the pranic sheath, or the pranic body, like the blueprint of our physical body. Our Chinese medicine practitioners, they see that as the meridian channels working with the organs. So it's all the same, just different interpretations, really. But these nadis, or these channels, they're said to be around about 72,000 of them working through our body. And we don't need to get to know or understand them all. Really, there's only three main ones that from the yogic perspective, when we're working with pranayama, that are good to know of. And they are Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna. So these are all Sanskrit names. Ida and Pingala are the moon and the sun channels, and Sushumna is the central channel, the fire channel of fire. So the Sushumna runs through the spine, so from the base of the spine all the way to the top. And this is where all the chakras are placed on this channel of fire. And then the Ida and the Pingala, the sun and moon channels, are the channels that represent the two polarities within us. So the sun and the moon, the male, the female, the yin and the yang, whichever way you like to look at it. And so they spiral through the chakras. They spiral down through the chakras. That's one interpretation. Another interpretation is they run down the side of the spine, along the spinal channel. Whichever way you want to look at it, they still work along the spine as well. Now, the left nostril is the axis to the Ida Nadi, which is the moon channel, and the right nostril is the axis to Pingala Nadi, which is the sun channel. So our nostrils are the axis to these channels, and that's why we work with this Nadi Shodana practice, to help equalize these two channels. If you think about the idea of Hatha Yoga, really is to bring us into some sort of balance, and we're always swaying from left to right, swaying from yin to yang. From a deeper level, ultimately, one of the aims of the yoga tradition is to awaken the Kundalini energy, and that lies dormant at the base chakra. And to awaken that, we need to have the sun and moon channels in perfect harmony, so that then that energy can then rise up through the central channel, through the channel of fire. So for that, we require that ultimate balance of Ida and Pingala. Now you can verify for yourself that throughout the day, your sun and your moon channels are out of balance, just by checking into which nostril is clearer than the other. And this changes throughout the day. So that's just the way things shift throughout the day. So at the moment, my left nostril is a lot clearer than my right nostril. So that means my moon channel is a little more clearer than my sun channel. And it's something nice to check into, because that's also the energy that you're more aligned to in that particular time. So the left channel, the left nostril, the moon channel, is that more creative energy, that more relaxing energy. It's all the things that you associate with the feminine qualities, the moon and that kind of thing. Whereas your right nostril is more your active, logical channel, all the things you associate with the sun energy or the active energy, the male energy. So good to know, because throughout the day, if you're doing certain tasks, maybe check into your nostrils to see which one is more dominant, because that's well worth just aligning with your rhythm. So if you've got to do your tax returns, but you're in your moon energy, then maybe just go and paint a picture or something instead. So just something to consider. But the pranayama, essentially, what we're working on is helping to enhance these channels. So not just kind of balance and clear them, but also to somewhat, I like to say, carve these channels. So these channels are there with everyone, but they become more effective when we work pranayama. It strengthens and makes them more receptive to hold more prana. So if you think of channels like the channels of irrigation, when people are irrigating a field through these channels that they dig into the ground to come out of a stream, let's say. And if the channel hasn't been dug very well, then just a little bit of water trickles through. But if the channel's really well dug, then it holds a lot more water, and the ground becomes more fertile. And that's essentially the same theory with our channels in our system. Through the pranayama practice, we help to enhance, to dig those channels deeper, and then it carries more prana, and we're more vital and healthier. So that's a little bit on that. So let's revise first of all, before we dive into our Nadi Shodana. Let's revise first of all. You've been practicing a little bit right now, but we worked on also some of the retentions last week. We looked at the kumbhakas, antar kumbhaka, the internal retention. So let's practice, do a few rounds of our ujjayi breath with that antar kumbhaka as well. So I'll guide the first couple of rounds. We'll do a round of 7 in, 7 out with a hold of 3. And then do a few rounds on your own where you might want to increase that hold. See how you go. So, ready. Sitting up nice and tall, shoulders back and spine upright. So releasing your current breath. And breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and hold 2, 3, and out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and hold 2, 3, and out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and hold 2, 3, and out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and hold 2, 3, and out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and in, and keep working in your own time for a few more rounds. If you want to increase that retention, you can. after the next exhale, just gently release that technique. So with a little pause. With that pause, is always nice just to breathe some deep abdominal breaths. Take that breath back down deep into the belly. Just a nice, easy, relaxed breath. Then we'll readdress the Viloma rhythm. So that's another one we did last week. That's the one where we work with that staggered inhalation. So like you're visualizing the steps. So you inhale for 3, you hold for 3, in for 3, hold for 3, in for 3, hold for 5, and then out slowly for 10. So let's try that one together. So releasing the current breath. And breathing in, 2, 3, hold 2, 3, in 2, 3, hold 2, 3, in 2, 3, hold 2, 3, 4, 5, and out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And in 2, 3, hold 2, 3, in 2, 3, hold 2, 3, in 2, 3, hold 2, 3, 4, 5, and out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In 2, 3, hold 2, 3, in 2, 3, hold 2, 3, in 2, 3, hold 2, 3, 4, 5, and out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And in 2, 3, hold 2, 3, in 2, 3, hold 2, 3, in 2, 3, hold 2, 3, 4, 5, and out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And in 2, 3, hold 2, 3, in 2, 3, hold 2, 3, in 2, 3, hold 2, 3, 4, 5, and out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So release that technique, just a little practice of that one, just to readdress it. Come back to a nice deep abdominal breath. And then in a moment we'll dive into our Nadi Shodana. So Nadi Shodana, that alternate nostril breath, and we'll do that for a little while to invite that balance in. Now just a few things about the technique of Nadi Shodana. So alternate nostril breath, we alternate a gentle pressure between your two nostrils. And for that we use our thumb and our ring finger. So ring finger and little finger become one unit here, and middle finger and index finger become the other unit. So that unit there, the middle and index, are often seen to rest on the third eye. So that way you can just alternate that pressure from side to side like that with minimal effort. Another variation, another technique is to bring those middle ones into the palm of the hand, and that's called the Vishnu mudra. And that way you can do the same thing, just alternating there, but they are in the palm of the hand. So that's up to what's what feels nicer for you. Generally, to begin with, that's easy, I find, just resting the fingers on the forehead, because it gives you like a connection, a ledge there. So that's that. We create that gentle pressure. Now it's a gentle pressure. We're not pressing deeply into the nostril, just closing it off, just on the flare of the nostril, just slightly, so that you can breathe through one nostril, then you alternate, breathe out the other one. So that's the technique of the hand. Now, making sure that the arm itself is in a good position. Now, what often happens is that the arm starts to get tired, and then the elbow comes down, and then we start to slouch. So we want to avoid that. So we want to make sure that we're sitting up nice and tall. And if the arm does start to tire, rather than start to slouch, you can bring the opposite hand in to support the arm. That's one technique. Or you just switch the arms and go to the other side. So yeah, those are the two options to support the arm if it needs support. Generally what we do is we use the right arm. but I've got a bad right shoulder, so I prefer to use the left arm. So it doesn't really matter, I don't think, but just from traditionally, they suggest to use the right arm, but whichever arm feels right for you. Now, a full round is we inhale through the left nostril, and it's good to visualize like you're creating a loop around the third eye. And as you exhale through the right, then you inhale through the right, around the third eye, and exhale through the left. Because we're actually also activating one side of the brain. The left nostril activates the right side of the brain, the right nostril activates the left side of the brain. So that in turn brings the two hemispheres of the brain into alignment, which then in turn slows down the brainwave patterns. So we come into a more Zen state of mind. So it's a beautiful technique just to bring in that Zen state into your practice or into your day. The other thing to consider is we still use the Ujjayi breath, and the Ujjayi breath helps particularly to get through those blocked nostrils. So we've already probably discovered that one nostril is a little more dominant than the other, but if you imagine if you're just kind of snorting the breath in, then if the nostril is blocked, it won't get through. But if you're using the power of the throat to draw the breath in, it can often move through even the most stubborn blockages. So it is recommended to work with some tissues in this practice and maybe clear the nostrils first. Well done, Janine. And then when you're ready, we'll begin. Now, if the nostrils are particularly stubborn at any time we're practicing this, then just visualize that you're drawing the breath in through the nostril that we're working on, and maybe you just gently sneak it in through the other one, because it's an energetic thing. So where the mind goes, the energy flows. So let's have a go now. So we'll work out Nadi Shodana. I'll guide you for the first few rounds. We'll do a count of 7, so 7 in and 7 out. But then after some time, you work on your own. And if your lung capacity is already greater, then you could have a longer count, or maybe you need to step it back to a shorter count. So find the count that's right for you. So ideally, we can practice it for some time. So we've got a good 8 minutes left, so we'll work with that time to work with our Nadi Shodana. So shoulders back and spine upright. Bringing our hand into position. Now releasing the current breath with a little pressure over the right nostril. And then begin. Breathe in through the left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And out through the right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And exhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale left. Now keep working in your own time. Shortening or lengthening that count as feels right for you. The aim is to find that rhythm that really suits you at this point in time. Keep working your Nadi Shodana rhythm in your own time. And maybe after the next exhale, after the next round, just start the following round where we stop counting the rhythm, just feeling the rhythm. So keep going if you can. Just allow yourself to intuitively feel the rhythm for the next few rounds. And then after the next round, after finishing the next round, so with that exhale through the left nostril, keep going till you get there, just releasing the technique and keeping the eyes closed, and just bring the awareness into the third eye, just resting our awareness at the third eye center, that space between the eyebrows, coming back to a gentle abdominal breath. And then taking your time, when you're ready, to come back to your room, come back to our circle, blink the eyes back open. So Nadi Shodana, the ultimate Zen technique. We're all, I'm sure, feeling very Zen right now. It really brings you into that really clear and third eye kind of space. So sometimes can be quite Zen. So often, if you're, let's say, you're practicing this in the morning and then you got to shoot off to work, then maybe after, because it's very third eye related, focused. So then it's always good to come back down and bring a little focus into your heart. So heart space kind of gives you then that grounding, because it can get a little cosmic, in that Zen space. So back into the heart to ground, and then going back into your day. Unless you're all good to go into your day in full cosmic vibe, then stay in your third eye. Thank you all very much. Well done. Our third day, another day down, and we're building this little repertoire, which we're going to. It's going to get juicier and juicier as the days go on. So thank you very much. Of course, stick around if you like for any questions or chats. But otherwise, I look forward to seeing you Monday. Namaste.
Thank you, Mickey.
This was a great introduction. I have got some experience with this practice in the Tibetan tradition. So I lived in a monastery for more than half a year, and I did a lot of yogic practices there. And the way we were taught that was slightly different. I see the value in both. And I just wanted to ask you your opinion because you have got decades of experience doing this stuff. So basically, the Ujjayi breathing is amazing addition. So I've never used it in that way. I've never been instructed to use it that way. And I think this is a huge enhancement. But the way that is being taught is that in the Tibetan yogic traditions is that those channels meet in Dantian, so two fingers under the belly, the Ida and Pingala. By the way, Ida and Pingala reminded me about the Thai massage when I was doing in Thailand. Because it's all about working with the senses, the 7 meridians, and the Thai massage basically is aligned with that.
Yeah.
So that kind of put the smile on my face when you use this terminology. Just my Thai massage book came to me. All the drawings of the meridians. So those two channels, the Ida and Pingala, meet and enter the Shushuma, 2 fingers under the Dantian, and then they travel through here, and then they come out. So there's this kind of an idea of those channels going like this and then meeting here. And when we breathe in, the idea is you can visualize whatever you want, but the idea is to visualize because you're working with the 3 poisons, so the ignorance, hate, and desire. So the left demonstrates, as you said, rightly, so the feminine and the right, the masculine, and the feminine is associated with the heat, the red, the desire, and the masculine, with the blue color, which is the aversion, the hate. So you're basically removing those poison as you circulate. But I think there are many ways of thinking about it. But the idea is that they meet. So you visualize it moving through the whole channel, and then they meet, they cross into the other channel, and then you remove it through the other channel. But the movement goes basically through the whole body. So breathing in, the movement, then moving here, and then coming out from the other side. So is this what you were saying initially, or you just in this tradition that you were studying, it goes only through the brain?
No. Good point. And I don't always bring it up initially because I find it can be quite complicated to visualize that full cycle. But I had a thought about it. Should I tell them the full cycle or not? Because I find that can get quite complicated to visualize when you're starting out. So, it is. I've heard of that. Let's say trajectory through the meridians, and I understand that visualization. The yogic one is generally slightly different. The visualization in that it sort of spirals through the chakras like this, going all the way down. I think ultimately it still works through those same meridians. It's just the way in which you visualize it moving, I guess, something like that. I don't always, as I said, bring that visualization into it initially because I find that can get a little complicated. So I just say, let's just focus on the third eye, around the third eye, and then that just creates that loop to start with. But yeah.
It's easier to cast the circuit a little bit, And then do you also do the Shushuma? Because then there's a third stage in this tradition I was practicing where you basically working with 2 nostrils and working only with the central channel, which represents the ignorance, not knowing, and basically you breathing in with 2, and then you move it up and down, and then it comes out through the third eye.
Yeah, absolutely. This is when we start to get into visualizing, like the energy moving up and down the spine. Yeah.
So there's also that component there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's like sort of a separate practice, would you say? Then first you cleanse those 2 side channels, and then you cultivate the central channel as a sort of a separate kind of honorable practice, right?
Exactly.
Right. Gotcha. Okay, so that's nice to clarify. So it's all the same, because the Tibetan Buddhism came from Atisha, all the Nagarjuna, all the great masters from the Nalanda monastery in India in the end of the day.
That's
including
right.
Padmasambhava, the founder of the Tibetan yogic tradition. So it's all the same. It just will be different variations. So I always like to sort of check in and see, so that I have got the right sort of framework to put it all together in my own little head. So thank you.
No, thank you. Thanks for sharing that. That's wonderful to have all those, all those different traditions blending in and coming together. Beautiful. No, thank you, Camille. A few messages there. Great share, Camille. Thank you.
Yes, thanks. I have a question about because you mentioned how this makes you go sort of cosmic, and for the day, that to me that sounds kind of great. But I sometimes use this do Nadi Shodana before sleep.
Yeah.
And there are times that it does help, but there are also times that and I end up waking or laying awake for like 2-3 hours. What's your view on that? Because I also use this with my clients who are like young teenage boys with autism to slow down their mind, who often also have ADHD. And I wonder how this affects sleep.
Look, good question. I mean, I generally would have thought that it does, like I said, it slows down the brainwave patterns. Yeah, yes, it does, get into that third eye space, which can be a little cosmic, which is why I suggest if you're doing it in the morning, then come back to your heart afterwards before you move into your day. But at night time, my general feeling is that it should be all right to get you to sleep. But sometimes there's no absolutes. Sometimes maybe that cosmic state that you're in is in some ways a little bit heightened, energetically, which then doesn't sort of lead into a comfortable sleep. So then my suggestion is to try your full yoga breathing, and a good technique that I was taught. I remember when I did my teacher training is like, if essentially for someone who's a little bit, let's say, insomniac and who struggles to sleep, or a very, very racy mind, is to actually go and lie on a hard floor, and because in your I can't remember the exact reasoning for this, but in your bed, it's soft but on a hard floor, I can't tell you exactly why this is, but I guess there's some kind of, maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure.
Connection to the earth?
Sorry?
Connection to the earth?
Connection to the earth, potentially. Yeah, that could be part of it.
It also has that same effect as when you clench your fist for 10 seconds and then you release, and then you feel that relaxation.
Something like that. So there is a resistance, I guess, underneath you, some kind of resistance. So you lay down on a hard floor, you do, say, 10 to 20 full yoga breaths, and then you go back into your bed, and then you continue your full yoga breathing, and then it can bring a nice release to be able to then drop into sleep.
Yeah, right.
But I don't know. Try it. Let me know.
Yeah, I'll let you know. Yeah, Mark says hi, by the way. Mark Ludbrook.
Oh, wonderful. Are you do you?
Yeah, I worked with him yesterday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Send him my love.
Yeah, I will.
Love that man.
All right. Much love, Mickey.
Thanks, Kevin. Thanks for the questions.
I was going to share something, Mickey. So what I read is why the nostrils have like a small blood vessels, and what happens is, depending on the side of the brain that you're using, the brain actually makes them larger or smaller to make more flow of air going to which one it wants to use, which it's using, and so that's what makes them bigger or smaller.
That's what makes them blocked or unblocked.
Yeah, so it expands when it wants the air to go through one channel. It will expand those, and so it's bigger. The flow is bigger through that. And so yeah, depending on the brain state you are, or what you're using. So depending on that and what size using is going to allow more flow going through that. So maybe that when you're forcing to go like balance, as maybe a state, like a balanced state, kind of in use. I don't know. That's what I maybe assume from what is happening.
Yeah. Good. No, that makes sense.
But
Definitely.
yeah, apparently it's the brain that makes them go bigger or smaller. So depending, I don't know, from what I read, like if you're in one state of mind or the other, the brain actually kind of command the nose.
Directs. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Ah, fascinating. Good.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting, but apparently, yeah, it always happens on the background.
And it's all, it's amazing how it's all interconnected, our systems.
So I guess that's why we switch between different, like one is blocked more in one time, and then it switches depending on what you're going to do.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it? Yeah, thanks for that. Was that in that book that you recommended?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so he explains the right and the left brain. So I guess that's why it's like what you were explaining, similar to. And I guess when you're like completely centered, then both will be flowing at the same time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I assume that what happens, but yeah, I'm a baby learning about all this. But yeah, I found it very interesting to share.
It makes complete sense to me. So yeah, good one. No, thank you. I'll have to put that book in the chat in the group.
Yeah. At the end, he has like I haven't gone through them, but he has practiced a yogi teaching a few of the yogi practices to kind of help on enhancing that idea about the breathing and all that. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. All right. Well, thanks, Alex. Thanks, Daryl. Thanks, Will. See you guys next week. Next Monday.
Thank you, Ricky.
Bye.